It is time for another viewer submitted match, and what I got for you today is a Silver League Zerg versus Terran. Spawning in the northwest corner, playing with the red Zerg pieces, we have none other than Mythic. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position and playing in blue, he goes by the nickname of DFrag NZ, or NZ. I'm assuming that stands right there for New Zealand. Regardless though, both Modluses and Nuke have indeed selected this replay for me to go ahead and cast, and both of them renamed this replay something along the lines of extremely cringy. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect here, but judging by that name, I think we are in for a treat because already the Terran player is indeed sending 4 SCVs in a little bit of like a train kind of formation across the map towards the top left corner, it looks like, and we'll see exactly what he's got in store for us today. But if you have a crazy match yourself as well, go ahead and submit it to replays at LowkoTV, because before you know it, I may end up casting that match as well. Although you gotta be prepared that, you know, sometimes people in the comment section will be a little bit upset because the games are gonna be, you know, oftentimes a little bit crazy, a little bit strange. Anyway, DFrag building up, I was gonna say 2 barracks, but he's building up the 3rd right now as well. And even though he doesn't really need the 4th SCV over here, I guess he's just simply gonna build up the 4th barracks with that 4th SCV, building up a significant amount of SCVs here on the other side of the map as well. But he is gonna plan on rallying Marines straight towards the natural of his opponent. Speaking of which, Mythic is just about to start that one up, opening up very safely actually with that quick gas geyser and then also the spawning pool, really making sure that he's not gonna be able to take all that much damage here in the earlier stages of the game. And we'll see whether or not Mythic is going to be capable of, you know, figuring out what the strategy of his opponent is going to be. There's going to be another depot going down right now for DFrag, so he's just simply planning on rallying Marines towards his opponent's bases and just simply killing him straight up. He's even sending the SCVs that were building these barracks back home right now as well, so they're going to be capable of... Why is he not building anything? Why is he not, like, there we go, he's finally starting up some Marines. I was gonna say, why is he not, like, you know, doing that just yet? But anyway, he's gonna send these SCVs back home to continue mining those beautiful blue mineral patches. Mythic sending 2 Zerglings out across the map here already, past that, you know, carcass of whatever robot that used to be, and they're gonna be able to figure out very shortly that something is not quite right here on the other side of the map. I mean, first off, there's no wall right here at the top of the ramp whatsoever. DFrag is not quite gonna be walling in here, but he's just simply rallying tons of Marines for the moment in a hit squad, I suppose, but shortly he's gonna be bringing those across the map to go after this base right here as well. And while Mythic has indeed finished it up, he's also gonna go for a Baneling's nest here, even though he hasn't scouted anything. Kind of an interesting little move there, but he's adding on a second gas geyser. He's got a queen. He's gonna be capable of actually defending this reasonably well. Now the Zerglings made their way across the map, and they're gonna be able to start nibbling away at as many of these SCVs as they would like. Looks like they may very well be able to pick up a kill or 2 here as well, because so far the Terran player is very busy microing on the other side of the map. Hold up. Terran player, stop looking at your Marines, dude. Dude, there's 2. No. I mean, he's doing a great job at, like, killing his opponent's stuff. I'll give him that. That spine crawler doesn't even have a chance to live, but no. These guys, they already killed 8 SCVs. He's not paying attention. DFrag is not paying attention. He's going to his opponent's mineral line. No, how? Mythic, how? Anyway, he's killing his opponent's workers as well. I mean, those Marines do kill things awfully quickly. What is that? How did these 2 Zerglings pick up nearly 20 kills? How is that a thing? That's 2 Zerglings. Okay, apparently they are merciful gods here after all, as they do return towards that main base to continue nibbling away at that supply depot. But how? How was that just a thing? Anyway, continued Marine production right here. That does mean that DFrag is going to be in a bit of a weird scenario. I mean, he's got 2 SCVs remaining at this point in the game, but he's got a ton of Marines as well. And the thing is, of course, Mythic is currently at 3 supplies. So even though we got 2 hero Zerglings dealing an awful lot of damage here, picking up 19 kills between the 2 of them, I'm a little worried here because there are going to be more than enough Marines available to just simply go ahead and you know, shoot the rest of this down. The question is he aware of where this final base is going to be located? We got one suicidal overlord. He did not, you know, live to float another day, I suppose. But the last base for Mythic is right now in the top right corner. There are indeed 2 drones out. One of them is hiding by this, well, I was going to say Christmas tree, but it's the ugliest Christmas tree I've ever seen. And the other one is indeed moving across the map. He doesn't really have, you know, that many resources, but technically speaking, you could start up another base here as well. Mythic, I mean, he's running rather low here as well, though. I mean, Defrag just simply goes ahead and shoots down as many of these buildings as he can. I am still surprised how he lost 19 SCVs to 2 Zerglings. 2 slow Zerglings at that in the earlier part of the game. I mean, it takes about maybe like 3 SCVs on attack move to go ahead and kill that? I mean, that I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the drone is just simply scouting about, trying to figure out if anything weird is going on. And I think he may very well be planning to build a base inside of his opponent's old main. And while Mythic is once again producing some drones right now in the top right corner, I'm a little worried because these Marines, I mean, this is one of the first bases you would scout if you're going to start looking around. And Mythic indeed does decide to plant down another hatchery here on the other side of the map. In the meantime, of course, the command center has also floated off. And well, there's not a chance you're going to be able to land at that base, but maybe this one right down here, or maybe the gold one right up here. They, by the way, did recently change this this gold base to, you know, only have blue mineral patches. So I wonder if that still comes into play, because the gold base used to be pretty strong. But hold that thought, because the Marines are indeed making their way towards the top right corner. They'll be able to find where the final drones are at, and the drones are... Defrag! Defrag, what is your APM? How do you have 64 APM and lose... How? How did that just... What are you doing? What are you even looking at? Come on, mate. Kill that thing. Come on, turn around. There you go. There you go. He didn't even... What was he even looking at? I guess he must have been busy landing that command center in a bit of an awkward position. A couple of Marines apparently here ready to defend as well. Mythic sneakily trying to see if he could get some more resources out of this, but the drones are gonna have to run once again. You can't sneak by. No, don't do it, dude. That's too risky. Too risky. All right, fair enough. He's going to be capable of sneaking by there because the Marines are not paying attention. At this point, I guess I'm not really that surprised anymore. But Defrag, he's continued mining once again. A little bit of long distance mining here because apparently... I mean, that command center is not in the correct position, right? But he's going to be capable of starting up his SUV production once again. And we all know, once mules start dropping in particular, and I'm a little surprised he didn't start up the orbital command here whatsoever. But once mules start dropping, he's going to be capable of supporting these 4 barracks once again. At this point, though, he's just simply wandering around, checking all of the different bases to figure out where the Zerg is currently mining. I would love him to just simply split up his Marines and have a look in each of the corners of the map and really, like... You know, see if there's another hidden base somewhere, because I think that this one right here is gonna be the absolute, like, final base that he will assume his opponent has taken. Mythic at this point is actually ahead in the work account. That's kind of hilarious. I mean, he's getting a lot more income once again because there's no mules out just yet. I would love... Defrag. Lower... Defrag. That's travel time right there. Just lower the... Defrag. Just... Breathe in through your nose, Lowko, out through your mouth. Count to 10. No, but seriously, how is that even a thing? Anyway, we got the 2 hero Zerglings just simply chilling around right now. They are ready to defend. I mean, they got the smell of blood still in their nose right now. I mean, they got 19 kills. 19 SCV kills. With the 2 of them. Not even a little bit of damage was done. Now, somehow, some way, Defrag is actually moving across the map. I was gonna assume that he was gonna check out literally every single other base, but he may very well be able to find out what is going on here in his natural very shortly. Now, Mythic, currently supply block, doesn't realize that he needed an overlord for quite a little bit of time right here. Defrag! No, Defrag! No, Defrag! Split up your units! No! He checked his main base, but he may not be checked. Oh my god, I understand why they named this replay Cringe. Alright, well, we do see that spawning pool going down here eventually. Mythic trying his best to just build up that drone count, and I actually do really like that. I mean, when you're in a desperate situation like this, just simply build up as many drones as you can, cross your fingers, and hope your opponent doesn't find you. That is most definitely your best option, because there's no way you're gonna fight this many Marines You know, when you no, there's no way. 25 Marines is actually a very sustainable army. You're gonna need like at least like 10 roaches, maybe even more to like sustainably take those out. Now you gotta keep in mind, of course, there's no stim pack, no upgrades, no medevacs, no nothing here. But defrag, what we do eventually see is a supply block as well as a mule drop. Kind of surprised that he hasn't quite realized yet that he's got a supply block. Considering it's defrag NZ, right? I'm kind of gonna make the assumption that this is one of the final games that is played on the Southeast Asian server. As you may recall, before about 2 weeks or so ago, there was a server called Southeast Asia, and it was widely considered to be the weakest MMR just because nobody ever played on it. I mean, I know that some people made it to Grandmaster League with 3.6k MMR, and as it is right now in Europe, I think you need about 5.8 or so. Like, you literally need more than 2,000 MMR over the GM that you needed to get in, or over the MMR that you needed to get to Grandmaster League over in Southeast Asia. And just a couple of weeks ago, Blizzard decided to get rid of that server and basically merge it together with, I believe, like, the North American one. So, I wouldn't be surprised, considering his nickname seems to indicate that he's from New Zealand, right? That this is going to be played on the Southeast Asian server, and even though both players are showing up in Silver League, that neither of them really are. I don't mean to be mean, right? I don't mean to be a jerk, but I mean, Mythic is still making more and more of these hero Zerglings, so there is most definitely a chance, but he's gonna need some gas. He's gonna need a little bit more. He did actually mine enough gas, apparently, previously to still start up that metabolic boost upgrade. Of course, he mined that from his main base, but I've seen plenty of Silver League games at this point in my life, and generally speaking, I'm always very impressed with the way they are approaching the game, because usually you know, most people in Silver League actually have got a pretty decent understanding of what the game is all about, and it's really like the macro mechanics holding them back. But regardless, defrag has figured out that there are these juicy golden minerals right here, right to the right hand side, I guess, of his main base. I guess we can call this main base. I still don't understand why you're not lowering the depots. How are you not lowering these depots, defrag? Come on now. You do realize that there's travel time right there, right? That SCV could have mined at least another like 50 minerals. It's a little bit silly. Regardless, second command center will eventually go up. We now also do see that Baneling nest going down. So the Baneling nest, of course, will provide Mythic with the potential, and I want to repeat, potential to take down Marines. With some solid micro, even 25 Marines versus 25 Banelings could still go in favor of the Marines. But of course, we do have to keep in mind that on creep and in Silver League, it's going to be a little bit tricky to see exactly what is going on. Regardless, though, defrag starting up some more depots right after he finished up his command center as well. So he's going to not be supply blocked for quite a little while longer. And I think that he may very well be planning to just simply continue onwards with that marine production and potentially get some upgrades on it as well. I mean, we got one hero SCV here mining in that refinery, and we see a lot of like desperate Marines constantly trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And finally, at this point in the game, he's starting to split up some of his units and leave them in the different bases. There you go, defrag. I would have loved it if you know, did that a little bit sooner. In the meantime, on the other end of the map, or the other end of the map, rather, Mythic has indeed constructed another hatchery. He's currently morphing that one in, and he's going to try and mine more and more minerals because there's not a whole lot of gas that can be gathered. Now, at this point, Mythic is actually saving up a pretty hefty chunk of minerals, considering this is all mined off of a single base. You know, nearly in on the 2,000 resources is pretty impressive. I would love to see a macro hatchery or two and maybe a queen injector 3. That would be pretty good. But regardless, he's like simply building up a pretty menacing amount of Zerglings, and at this point it's 36 Zerglings versus 25 Marines. Now you gotta keep in mind, of course, these Marines are gonna be in trouble once these Banes do come rolling out here for the Zerg player in red. Marines still looking every which way. He's leaving Marines in all of the different bases, trying his best to hotkey this to the best of his abilities and leaving the units at watchtowers. I'm liking it a lot, but the chances of your opponent taking, you know, a base on your side of the map, defrag, they're rather slim, right? I mean, you know for a fact that he was on the other side of the map with the last of his units. You should probably go ahead and check out the bottom left corner at the very least, and maybe this base right over here, and maybe the other ones. Oh man, this could have been over like 4 times already if defrag just simply walked down into his in-base expansion. Regardless though, these players are having fun, right? They're just simply trying to make the best of a bad situation. putting the drones into that gas geyser when it's only just now starting to morph in. That is something that we don't see every single day. But the Terran player at this point, I mean, he's not really mining from that gold just yet, and he's got a lot of SCVs queued up. I would love to see him continue onwards right now with the marine production. I mean, you got the money for it. May as well go ahead and just select all of these barracks and just simply start up as many of those marines as you can, because you're gonna need it once the Zerg player starts moving across here as well. And it looks like we've arrived at a bit of a lull in the game. I mean, still, the Terran player is moving around, right? Still, the Terran player is moving around. He's trying to figure out. He's putting marines on every single base. This is kind of cute. I love to watch him box individual marines. When you play a lot of StarCraft, at some point you get so efficient that you like move marines so quickly around, you know, you don't really like individually like check him when they are moving towards their designated position. But at this point, I think that defrag is gonna be in for a bit of a surprise, because ooh, I thought for a second he was gonna run down. No, dude, just check this one. Marine, move south. South. Alpha Squadron. Oh well, I mean, apparently Mythic has got enough of this as well. He's gonna try and take a base, and it looks like he will be able to, but Defrag will shortly be able to figure out that something is not quite right here. He's starting up a couple of spine crawlers, and I think those are gonna be important because the Marines are on the prowl. Now, he left most of his army across the map at this point. I mean, there's a lot of units that are currently occupying these bases. Ooh, apparently that one drone was able to live for a little while longer, but not quite long enough, as Defrag finds out that there is indeed a whole lot of creep spread here in the other side of the map. Now, morph in some Banes, Mythic. Mythic, get yourself some Banelings. Apparently, Defrag doesn't really care, though. Sir, we can't look up that mountain. Well, it's alright, it's just a little hill, but apparently they won't be able to get up there. I guess it's a massive indication, though, that something is a little bit fishy. He's also activated the all-army hotkey right now to start moving across the map. And actually, since he's been building up that SCV count a little bit here and there, he's now up to 34, which is most definitely pretty solid. He's getting double tech labs, double reactors as well, and it looks like we may be coming to an ending in this game shortly. I mean, both of these players are starting to look like they want to engage. The changelings, or the brutelings rather, are coming in. There's a couple of spines over here, but with the sheer amount of Zerglings that were available, even though Mythic was at 2 supply here previously, and he's currently move commanding with the majority of his units, he is just simply gonna be able to overrun the sheer amount of Marines there. And even though the hero Marines, some of them are still moving across the map. We got one right here that was occupying a base, gunning them down, but he will have to die for the Terran Dominion as well. We got another Terran Marine here trying to do whatever damage he can. Going after the drones here. He is not going down without a fight. But at the same time, he's found himself a buddy. But at the same time, on the other end of the map, even though the Marine production has finally ramped up and both players are stacking up thousands of resources, Defrag is indeed going to be forced to leave this game very shortly. Because look at the sheer amount of Zerglings that are just simply available. And Mythic is like, yeah, bro, I know, I'm the very best. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this match. If you did, and I know it's a little bit cringy, please be nice to the people in the people that submit these replays. Read the comment section, right? Please be nice to people that submit these games. I am very, very grateful that we get a wide variety of games, going all the way from the lowest of the low all the way to the highest of the high as well. So I hope you are enjoying watching these games as well, even though it is a little bit of a cringe fest every now and then. I genuinely enjoy casting these, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Anyway, other than that, I want to thank you very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.